Welcome back to the Datarekha audio guide. I'm Diya.
And I'm Arjun. Today, the uncomfortable truth that most things people call AI agents aren't agents at all. And they're better for it.
Strong opening. Give me the scene that makes that real.
Picture a team building a support bot. Day 1, someone wires up an agent. 20 tools, one giant prompt. The traces are chaos. The bills are scary. Every regression is a murder mystery. 2 weeks later, they rip the whole thing out and replace it with a tiny classifier that routes to one of 3 focused prompts. Latency drops, cost drops, quality goes up.
So the fix was to make it less clever, not more.
They didn't need an agent. They needed a workflow. And that's the distinction Anthropic drew in their Building Effective Agents write-up. There are 5 workflow patterns where the code paths are predefined, and then the agent shape itself, where the model directs its own process. 5 plus 1.
Walk me through the 5, but quickly. I want to feel the difference, not memorize a list.
Good, because the difference is the whole point. 1. Prompt chaining, a fixed sequence. Outline, then draft, then polish, with little programmatic gates between steps to validate or stop. 2. Routing. You classify the input first with a cheap call, then send it to a specialist. Refund here, tech support there, sales over there.
That's the one the support team landed on.
Right. 3. Parallelization. Fire several calls at once and combine them. 2 flavors. Sectioning, where you split into independent pieces. One model writes the body while another generates citations. And voting, where you run the same task 5 times and take the majority. Higher confidence, proportional cost.
And 4 and 5?
4. Orchestrator-workers. A central model looks at the task, decomposes it into subtasks, hands each to a worker, then synthesizes. 5. Evaluator-optimizer. One model generates, another judges, and it revises on reject until the judge approves or you run out of budget. That last one is what older lessons called reflection.
Now wait. 4 and 3 sound like the same thing to me. Both run multiple calls. What actually separates parallelization from orchestrator workers?
That is exactly the right question, and it's the one people get wrong. It's who decides the decomposition. In parallelization, you fix the subtasks upfront, in your code. You always know its body, citations, fact check. In orchestrator workers, the model decides the subtasks at runtime, after it's seen the input, because the right breakdown isn't knowable in advance.
So you'd reach for orchestrator workers on something like edit these files or research this using whichever of 30 documents are relevant, where you can't know the plan till you look.
Exactly. The shape of the work changes per input. And that brings us to the 6th thing, the agent itself. When none of the 5 fit, you reach for the maximally flexible shape, a model in a loop with tools. It picks an action, runs it, reads the result, decides again. No predefined path, just a loop that ends when it says done.
And the trap, let me guess, is that the agent shape is seductive? It feels like the grown-up choice.
That's the mistake everyone makes exactly once. You reach for the agent because the task feels complicated. But most complicated tasks are still bounded. They decompose into a fixed sequence, even a long one. Here's the test. If you can sketch the steps on paper, it's a workflow. Agents only pay off when the shape genuinely changes per input, and the model needs ground truth feedback. Tool results, tests passing or failing, to know what's next.
And the cost of getting it wrong isn't just philosophical, it's the bill.
The costs compound viciously. An agent that uses prompt chaining for its tool descriptions and evaluator optimizer on every tool result is easily 30 times the tokens of a single prompt. That's not hypothetical. That's where we'll just use agents projects quietly bleed budget. Build the workflow version first. Promote to an agent only after you've watched it fail.
There's a subtler trap too, isn't there? Even once it's running, knowing whether it's any good.
And this catches teams out constantly. A single number, Success rate hides everything. Picture flipping a switch from version 1 to version 2. The success rate barely moves. Looks like an easy ship. But under the hood, the hallucination rate has nearly quintupled. A single metric dashboard misses that every time. You need a scorecard. Completion, token cost, tool call validity, hallucination, tracked across both versions before you ship.
And the reassuring bit is that none of this is framework specific.
That's the payoff of learning the patterns instead of the syntax. LangGraph, Microsoft's agent framework, Google's ADK. They all wrap these same shapes. Prompt chaining is a sequential agent in one and a runnable sequence in another. Once you see the patterns, switching frameworks is a syntax change, not a rethink.
So the one sentence to walk away with:
If you can sketch the steps on paper, build a workflow. Reach for a true agent only when you genuinely can't.
start boring, earn the agent. That's the Datarekha audio guide. See you in the next one.